Okay, 1 second. Okay, here we go. So we're going to be on page Kuf Mem Zion. Does that sound right? Kuf Mem Zion, or is it that we're on page Pay Base? Which one is it? It's a Mir, Remez, Oros, and Mekifim, Batavis, HAOMER. No, I don't have that. It has to be on page Base. Okay, so what I thought that I would do today, I would try this idea, is to read just the top part. That is the blurb, the blurb part. Go through, this is the 9th drush. So, let me see, blow my nose 1 second here. Just get an idea this way, and I also wanted to start looking at the Rishash, but I don't know if we have time now. Yisbor bebeis mahalkim shechutra chamishim yom lihispashtus begufa dezav. That's the one that we're on right now. And then I was going to read the next one. The next one says, Yisbor shevizer anpin yesh asara shemos dema. Well, that all sounds very interesting, so I think I have to read it because I thought that I understood, from it before. I'll try to get better up. Tomorrow I'll be ready better. At any rate, Yisbor beis mahalkim shechutra chamishim yom. Let's see what he says. Hine his pashtusam hi behemshet mem tes yamim. The series of Omer. V'hu ki hine asara shemos heim shal Akya. There are 10 different names of Akya. V'kulam b'sod dam, and all of them are different aspects of dam, which is the Revuah. Keniska the el v'drosh kadam lezeh. Says v'hinda b'hiyosam b'shutim yesh b'chem arbaim osya. So if you see them as they are, they're 4 times 10, each one with 4 letters. Asara shemos atzman, and so there are what? There are arbaim osyas and 40 lays. And asara shemos atzman, and then of that there are 10 names themselves times 4, each has 4 letters, Heim Chamishim Yom, and so that it comes out to be that there's 50 days. This is the proper explanation. Now, where have I been that I was looking at all kinds of other things? So, Od, Yesh the Farish Pirusheni, so there's a second explanation. Because Shem Shal Acharaim Hanizgar, all the names, the Acharaims. Yesh Bechem Eser Osius Kazeh. Then he shows them Aleph, Aleph K, Yud, Aleph K, Yud K, Aleph K, Yud K. So he said, Techaber Klaus Asara Osius Elu. So if you join together these 10 letters, Heim Arbayim Osius Shabbat Asara Shemos, and his current, once again, you're going to come to 40. So he says, so it says, Asara Osius Elu, Im Arbaim Osius, that's 10 with 40, Shabasara Shemus on his current, Heim Chamishim, that makes 50. Ve'edochem Mispar Chamishim Yom Shebein Pesach Elatzeres, so these are the 50 days between Pesach and Atzeres, and B'kol Yom Nesakenes Os Achas Min and his current, so then you take those 50 letters, and each one of them is going to have a special tikkun associated with its name. Of the hashlim tikkunim oz hi chag hatzeres, and when you get to the 50, you could count them. You're in the house, the holiday of Shavuos. V'yesh b'chin zivug elyon, and that's where you see actually it all coming together in a yichud. Now he says yizbor shabezer anpin yesh asara shemos dema. The next to the Inyan Rishon, let's go back to what we started talking about. Ki kamosha heim asarit domim. Came bezer anpen yesh asarit shemos ma. There are 10 different names of ma. Connected the sarach domim, which those correspond to the 10 different bloods that we were talking about. Asher b'das, which are inside of das. Gam as das. He says, Gam tam acher, here's another reason. He says, Gizer anpin, who eser spheros is 10 spheros, because sphera hi chavaya achas dema. V'nimsiki chasara domim and iskarm. So when we talk about these 10 bloods, he says Hem Eser Shemos Akya b'Revuah. Hem Mislavshim Mispashtim Toch Eser Shemos Ma Shehem Klalos Anpen. So they spread into the 10 names of Ma, the 10 Ma's which refer to Zeranpin. Then it says of a Dechila Shehi Zeranpin Bilti Hadam Hanizker. So when we originally have Zeranpin, the Zeranpin is empty. He has no blood. Because it's missing the love, the Aleph, and nothing is coming through that Aleph that would be in the milui of the Vav of Ma, Vav Aleph Vav. Memana Hefach Na'as Adam, and from that Vav, that's the place with that Aleph in the middle of it, which is going to be the beginning of what is this phrase? He says, Nehefach Na'as Dam. It turns around and becomes Dam. So this is a phrase which I'm not familiar with, is blood touches blood. So he says, so when they are distanced from each other, Heim dam lamala v'dam lamata, there's the dam is separated. V'chein yesh shlichus damim, and as a result of that, you have the spilling of blood. Ki heim nishpachim v'chutz ve'enem ischavrim, because they spill out and they don't join together. So he says ve'enem ischavrim dam b'dam. Avach b'hislavish dam elyon b'soch zer anpen, but when the upper dam is able to come into Zer Anpin. I made a statement there that you have a difference between the dam. There's an upper dam and a lower dam. You need them to combine. So I'm not sure about where the lower dam came from exactly, or the upper dam, because I thought it was all stopped up at the neck area. But he says this, ve'enim nitzchabrim dam b'dam, ovech b'hislavish dama elya b'soch zer anpin, but when it spreads into zer anpin, and mispashtim b'socho, v'nivloch hadam b'socho, oz na'asa adam, then it becomes adam, instead of dam, it has an aleph in it, that makes it a man. So there's a lot more to be said about that. Let's see what else we can see. Here's V'zehu Sod Masha Amrach B'Pesach Chulin. Al Rabbi Nasan Abadli Sh'Amrach La'osa Ha'isha, who said to a certain woman, Hamtino L'mol as Binecha, so wait before you circumcise your son, Ad Shiv V'Dama Ba'o, until the blood is absorbed in him. V'az nishlamim asavar shemos damash b'zah. So then the 10 names of dam, na'asa asavar shemos dama shebezer anpen, and then they're all mas. Instead of 44s, which is dam, then they're 25. It's 45s, which is zer anpen. V'nasa bechinas ma, and it becomes a ma and a ma. Again, that phrase, I'm not sure what he meant by that. I guess the ma's come together. But said so, that's that phrase. In your blood is your life, is life. Is my life, I guess. Ki mamish al yedei damecho haniskarim techayat. So through that blood, that's the life force that brings Zer Anpin to become 45 instead of 44. Keep it lamala, while they're still up above. Hoyu galus hanimshal alamavis, that we were in galus, which is similar to being dead. V'ata b'his pashe damin l'mata begufa tichaya. So then, when it starts to spread down below, then it brings life. So he says. So now he said v'hidecha b'noidus. So it's known like this. Ki shaloshel zamanim heim. There were 3 different times. Zaman Iyar Rishon, v'az zer anpen hu b'bechinat las glula b'tlas zaman and yanika. Then that's another time. Zaman Iyar Sheni shel mochim. So they have this phrase. It's a second Iyar in which the mochim of godless come in. V'hi b'galas Mitzrayim. So what happened in Mitzrayim? Causes their anpen the Zman Iyar Rishon. He goes back v'hoy b'bechinat las glula b'tlas. Lefi shelo choyach chosadim is pashtim begufa, because the sladim did not spread into the body. So the Iyar, so therefore they went back to enter into the Iyar stage. But what the Geula means is that Zer Anpin is born. The May Ima Elor, and it comes out from the, I guess he means also the Shefa, comes out from the May Ima Elor, the Oz Choyuzamana Yanika, and that's the type of nursing. That's the time of nursing. And this is the time that the blood is absorbed throughout the body of the child. Because this is another idea. This is that the dam in the woman switches over and it becomes milk. And that's where the blood that was stopped up in her, that so to speak, is now available to become milk. For the unique of V'acher Kach, so then the milk goes back to its original state, and it turns inside of the body. So in other words, it's blood that becomes milk, and milk that becomes blood. For Inyan, who the Inyan is like this, so originally, Mosros, there were Mosros in the dam that was full of impure parts of his man. So that's what happens. So now there is blood which is coming out of the Isha. Excuse me, I said it kind of wrong. There's a lot of leftover blood. Okay, that's it. So we'll come back to this tomorrow. And short days now, short limudim, and tomorrow will be a little bit longer.